Hey, how is everybody today? All five of us. Not very many of us, I know. It's whatever. Um, Mystery of lawlessness continues to expand. It's not a mystery. I mean, it's something that we can't like directly put our hands on, but it's obviously the work of the devils. You know, the doctrines of demons, the 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 gender ideologies. You know, all the twisting of God's plan. Anything they can do to stop the fruitful and multiply. Anything they can do to stop somebody from actually replacing them. So I kind of called it in my other videos. I'm trying my best not to be too sharp about it, but the truth of the matter is Steven Crowder's little release yesterday about the big con, he calls it. It is a big con. It's ever been a big con. You know, honestly, I think, and I even have a hard time believing people like Rush Limbaugh and all those guys. You know, the firebrands back in the day, the bleeding heart liberal guys that everybody knew was crazy, but we still listen to anyway for some reason. Glenn Beck too. I think they're all controlled opposition at this point. I am firmly of the belief that their goal and their job was ever to just divide us further into our little sectors, and then, you know, each generation of conservative, it's not conservative, especially if you look at those contracts, because all they're doing is incentivizing all the blue-haired crazies that want to go out there and throw fits to get their way. That's all they're doing. So the conservatives are very clearly just playing. They're playing cleanup is what they're doing. They're just making sure that we don't completely stray outside of the political sphere, the political prison that is the two-party system. I am not surprised that Ben Shapiro is 100% quiet on this. You're going to hear his name more and more. I don't know if he's actually the beast, but man, he sure is beastly. Sure acts that way. Sure pretends to be on our team, pretends to hear our concerns, and then pretends to put on a show about a shot that he probably didn't get because he could see the writing on the wall. I am blown away if there's any of you out there that actually thought that this was legitimately on our side. The conservative movement is not designed to actually appease conservatives. It's designed to draw in Christians into the conservative movement so that they'll start treating politics like it's a religion. That is absolutely part of it, because the more they can get you to trust in anything other than the good graces of the Lord and His plan, and freak out by whatever stick they're shaking in your face, the more they can get you controllable. I don't know how else to put that. So whether it looks like it or not, you know, whether it's, you know, as vile and disgusting as something like, you know, the transgender ideology or the LGBTQIA alphabet soup nonsense, it's still a doctrine of demons. You know, they're still trying to basically tell you that you can act hoity-toity, adhere to certain principles, ignore others that are extremely important. I'm sorry. The whole conversation around, you know, an experimental shot should have never been, like the way that they danced about it. I'm talking about the Daily Wire specifically. There's many others, but they're the biggest out there that are guilty of this. You know, they were very, well, you know, the science, and I went ahead and got it, and, you know, like all the politicians got it too, but none of them are falling over dead. And I'm sorry, based on just the preliminary data that we have, we would see at least 4 or 5 of them by this point have heart attacks, strokes, whatever. So if any of you believe that any of them took anything other than a saline shot, I'm sorry. I love you all dearly. You need to pull your head out of a certain orifice. It has to happen. The Great Deception is going to be, it's unfolding. You know, the fact that we caught a major conservative, the fact that we caught a major player in the conservative news sphere, you know, a major player, it's all of them, it really is, they're suspiciously quiet about it. No, they're not. It's all on purpose. They were never on our team. They specifically went in. Their goal is to take people, perhaps like myself, I don't know, I'm not cool, but their goal is to take people who are outspoken, who are factually correct, and who are pointing out things that every one of them, including the cons, are doing. And these are basically what used to be called neocons, by the way. They pretend to be Christian-esque. They pretend to be conservative, but when it really comes down to it, they're war hawks. They're pro-Israel to the point of massive sin against many other peoples, which it's a long, drawn-out discussion. Not going to get into it because, again, politics. But there are just as many Palestinian genetically Jewish people as there are Israelis, and I will stand on that. That's just, I'm sorry, there's too much that's been shown. The current state of Israel, by the way, is exactly what the Bible says it is in the end times. It is Sodom and Gomorrah. It is the Middle Eastern, you know, plant of the United States giving off all of its LGBTQ religious nonsense that they feed to the world. They call it a bastion of freedom, when really it's just another pseudo-fascist, pseudo-communist, proto-fascist, I don't even know. It's like there's so many different variations from what we're used to calling communist and fascist, but they clearly, just like here, don't allow you to speak, don't allow you to actually say something. They'll tell you it's free speech, but they won't incentivize any actual free speech. You're going to see more and more of this, if you're paying attention, of course. If not, you're going to be drawn in because all these squawkers on the right that are ignoring what just came out are going to continue on their, well, the shots are bad, and they lied to us, and they're going to try to get you on their team. They tried getting Crowder, and honestly, so far he's giving off the vibe that he is an actual Christian, but money's a powerful thing, if he were to have just turned the switch and took the hundreds of billions or millions or whatever of dollars and just gone on with it, we would have never known, at least not directly. Obviously, those of us who are paying attention can see it happening in the background, and it's complete nonsense. Other things that are coming that are part of the Great Deception, and I noted this in another video, but we're having some major breakthroughs in aging and reprogramming. They finally officially admitted that they are able to genetically rewind the reader systems inside of an animal mammalian cell, and literally rewind it back to peak maturity using science and technology. This shouldn't surprise Christians if we're paying attention to our Bible. And no, it doesn't say the devils had a genetic experiment with the dinosaurs and humans, but I mean, Nephilim, fallen ones, earth got flooded, mass majority died off. The entirety of the earth was obliterated before man was created. There was a good reason for it. It's because things were so incredibly manipulated and perverted beyond their original design that it was no harmony, it was no beauty, it was all ugly filth and death, and I'm sure just a playground for very extremely childish angelic beings. And then eventually humans, once they took a part in it in the Genesis 6 scheme. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of that Nephilim type genetic experimentation occur on a grand scale. I don't think the devils are directly doing it. I think they're teaching us. So we're going to see more and more scientific advancements. I honestly think we're going to see scientific advancements that are acknowledged up to a point, and then they're just going to stop. And then out of nowhere, we're going to see the world just light on fire, essentially. And then eventually we're going to start seeing this new religion with this mark, with this promise of eternal life. And they're going to likely start equating the eternal God with some knowledge center computer AI thing. It's coming. It'll be a God unlike any God ever before. That does include any version of Yahweh that modern day Jewish folk may or may not follow. It's not going to be any of them. And the only answer that I can think of is this new Tower of Babel that's coming. The English language is everywhere. The internet is everywhere. It's being abused and used against Christians and conservatives constantly, even by people that purport to be conservatives. It's winding down. And the whole point of it is to keep us corralled into these two, left or right. Nowhere else, nowhere outside of it. Nowhere standing back pointing out that they're intentionally trying to get both sides to fight so that we don't look at the things we have in common and fight them. It's the same nonsense that it's ever been, only now, because of the different layers of technology that separate people. I mean, we don't hardly have face-to-face communications. I work in one of the few, face-to-face positions left that doesn't involve a whole bunch of, I get to genuinely talk with people and genuinely communicate, and there's not this, I'm not given a whole bunch of rote lines to puke back at people, and there's, I get to experience their emotion. I get to do the human thing. It's great, but it's very isolated, and things are becoming more and more walk up to the kiosk in order. So they're separating us individually. They are shaking bigger sticks at us. The conservative movement, by and large, is 100% a part of it. And I will say it again, and perhaps even to my last breath, the Antichrist will come from and for the right. He's not coming for the left. They're already completely co-opted. They don't have kids. They take all their shots. They fall over toasted dead out of nowhere. And, well, global warming. They're taken. They're utterly taken. Anyway, let me know what you think. This is episode 2. I'm going to keep expanding on this as it expands in front of us, because that's exactly what's happening. People like to pretend like they can't see it amongst all the other nonsense that's going on. all the social media is designed to keep us weighed down with nonsense. We must stay focused. I know that's a meme somewhere. Anyhow, bless you guys. I really hope your eyes are open to this. I hope you step away from major conservative news of all kinds. And if you do keep it, because I mean, I still partake in some of it. I like to watch the left too, just to know what those crazy people are up to. But grain of salt, absolutely everything. Nothing is to be taken at its pure word. Unfortunately, these people are liars and snakes, and they're going to keep this up. Jeremy Boring, Ben Shapiro, even Matt Walsh, they're, sorry guys, you're shills, and you know it, and you love money, and that's just how it is. And the only way that you could step back and prove it is just by telling the pure truth, nothing but the truth, and then watch your income dwindle, because it's the only way you're actually going to prove that you're legitimate, and you will not do it because you're a part of it. And you want us all to go down with you. You want us to have your version of a sovereign instead of the true Lord. You are fakes and snakes. And yeah, we need to walk away. So anyhow, hope you guys have a blessed day. Stay faithful and not political. Talk to you soon. Bye.